Streaming live now on News8000.com. You're watching WKBT La Crosse. This is News 8 Now, this morning.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Whoa, getting ahead of yourself there. Just flying by the morning already.
I was thinking about the noon show, and I'm not sure why.
She's ready for the day to be over.
I am. I was so cold that I was like,
yeah.
What time of day
it's kind of shivering your brain a little bit.
Shivering my brain. Well, out of the corner of my eye, I can see Derek's frost advisory effect, and it's got like a little bit of snow sprinkling, so I'm just like, oh my God.
That's the closest like graphic that I could find that relates to frost, because otherwise it's just, you know, snow, but yeah. Ugh.
Anyway, well, I guess there's no need for introductions at this point. I'm Dua.
Yeah, I'm Derek. Hey.
It's October 10th. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday.
And man, is it going to start getting colder.
It is, yeah. Welcome to fall. It's here to stay with these temperatures. So, you know, as Dua mentioned, we got those frost advisories in effect, and that's mainly for those counties that you see highlighted there on your screen. Now, for La Crosse County, Eau Claire County, you're also included within this advisory again until 9 o'clock. That's because temperatures are expected to fall into the 30s. That could cause some concerns for any outdoor plants. So try to bring them inside if you can, or try to cover them up at the very least, because that could cause some damage concerns or potentially kill some of those plants you may have outside. Current temperatures again, 30s, 40s, 39 in La Crosse now, 41 in Eau Claire, 36 in Winona, much cooler towards the west, 42 degrees currently now in Sparta. So satellite and radar showing we got some passing clouds across the area, mainly focused across our eastern communities. They're sliding their way down to the southeast this morning. We are expecting to see partly cloudy conditions take shape throughout the day, with afternoon highs into the mid to upper 50s with a light west-northwest breeze today at around 5 to 10 miles an hour. So not as breezy as what we had yesterday. Mostly clear for the dog walking conditions this morning. Partly cloudy for the rest of the day today. I'll have a check on that Schoolcast plus your full weather forecast coming up in a few minutes, and we're going to talk about some upcoming rain chances later this week. Dua?
Thanks, Derek. Well, let's get to some news this morning. The Monroe County detective accused in the death of a police dog has appeared in court. 29-year-old Alexander Moss pleaded not guilty to 1 count of mistreatment of an animal. Moss was a canine handler with the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. According to the criminal complaint, Moss left canine Colt in a parked squad vehicle for nearly 4 hours in hot and sunny conditions. The car was not running and the windows were up. As a result, Colt died a few days later. Moss resigned shortly after being placed on administrative leave for the incident. Moss was given a $1,000 signature bond. He's scheduled to be back in court on November 28. A man accused of possessing 3,500 child sexual assault photos had his bond reduced. 42-year-old Donovan Cadigan had a $10,000 cash bond with conditions. His defense attorney argued for his bond to be lowered to $4,000. Judge Mark Huseman decided to lower the bond, but only to $7,000. Huseman said he agreed to a modification because Cadigan hadn't missed court before, but he kept it at $7,000, arguing that if Cadigan had to borrow the extra $3,000 to meet bond, it would serve as an extra incentive to reoffend or flee. A member of the Chippewa County Board of Supervisors is standing by the board's investigation into Sheriff Travis Hakes. District 14 Supervisor Rob Toteberg is rebuking Sheriff Hakes' claims that the investigation is politically motivated. Hakes released a statement calling the investigation politically motivated and said it contained inaccurate and incomplete information written in a way to, quote, maximize any hint or innuendo of misconduct. In his response online, Toteberg says that the board is a nonpartisan governmental institution and that members have a wide range of political opinions. Toteberg emphasizes that despite personal political beliefs, all supervisors agreed to a formal censure of Hakes after seeing the investigative report. Toteberg adds that he has the same political leanings as Sheriff Hakes and even voted for Hakes in the past election. He says these facts alone are proof the County Board of Supervisors was not politically motivated. Toteberg also renewed his calls for Hakes to resign as sheriff. Today, Hakes will be given 10 minutes to make a statement to the county board and the public regarding the investigation. Community and support. It's what Gunderson Health System says those who have lost a child need. This month is Pregnancy, Infant, and Child Loss Awareness Month. The bereavement coordinator at Gunderson says that specific kind of grief isn't openly talked about. She says with the holiday season approaching, it can be a difficult time for families experiencing that difficult grief. If you know a family going through a loss, she says reaching out can be very helpful.
Just listen to them, be there for them, support them, ask what you can do before stepping in and doing things.
She says one of the most valuable things friends and family can do is to say the child's name and include their memory in special moments. Gunderson and Mayo are hosting a free walk to remember on Saturday, October 14 from 4 to 6 in the evening at Riverside Park. We have a link with more information about the event on our digital platforms. Part of Losey Boulevard is closed this week. The city of La Crosse is making waterline repairs on Losey Boulevard from Victory Street to Mormon Coulee Road. Both lanes are going south are closed. One lane going north is closed. If you need to travel on that part of Losey, make sure to add extra time to your commute. The construction is expected to finish by October 13th. The hunt is on. Winona State University is looking for a new president. But before they can make any decisions, administrators want to hear from the students. Students had the opportunity to tell the school what they wanted in the next president in a series of listening sessions. They had this to say.
You know, someone that's really optimistic and open to a lot of new things, someone that really enjoys their job and is looking to improve this campus.
Someone that really cares about the student body and the people that are on campus.
After the listening sessions, a search advisory committee will be created to start vetting potential candidates. La Crosse has a new county board supervisor. UWL student Justin Poley was sworn in yesterday to the District 5 supervisor seat. He's taking over for Grant Matthew, who resigned in September after moving out of the district's boundaries. Poley says he applied for the role because of the unique opportunity it would give him to advocate at the county level for the students' needs. District 5 covers the UWL campus. Although he said it will be hard to balance schoolwork and county board responsibilities, he says he's excited for the challenge.
It's pretty overwhelming so far, actually. It's a lot of new things all at once, but I'm excited.
Outside of campus issues, Poley says he's also focused on topics like La Crosse's unsheltered population and water treatment issues. Well, it's that time of year again. As we move into the colder months, respiratory viruses will start to spread quickly. To help slow the spread of diseases like flu, RSV, and COVID, Gunderson Health System has opened its vaccine clinics in La Crosse and Onalaska. The La Crosse and Onalaska clinics will offer flu and pneumonia vaccines, as well as the new RSV vaccine for those over 60. The supervisor for the clinic says once the hospital receives shipments of the new COVID-19 vaccine, it will also then be offered. She also explains why it's important to get vaccinated.
Vaccines will protect you from chronic illnesses that are out there.
Dayton adds that people with chronic medical issues, the elderly, young children, and pregnant women are the most vulnerable to respiratory viruses. The vaccine clinics are open weekdays from 8:30 in the morning till 4:30 in the evening. The clinics will stay open till 6 in the evening on Mondays and Wednesdays. The extended hours last until November 29. To make an appointment, you can either call the clinic or go to their website. We'll post more information on our website, news8000.com. The Salvation Army of La Crosse County will be hosting their 3rd annual fall celebration at Burns Park tonight. The event will be held from 4 this afternoon till 7 this evening at La Crosse's Burns Park. The event will feature a pumpkin carving, free books, the Sweetgrass Band, and Brutus the Mini Pig will also be making a surprise visit. The Salvation Army is also asking for donations of hygiene items or warming gear. Those who've gone through the school system can probably think about a teacher that went above and beyond for them, and many of them go that extra mile while balancing a life and family after the final bell rings. News 8's Ken Kazarowski introduces us to this month's top-notch teacher.
Top Notch Teacher is sponsored by Viterbo University.
Attending with a room full of middle schoolers keeps you on your toes.
Never a dull moment. As a teacher, your brain is constantly thinking.
For Onalaska Middle School English Language Arts teacher Kristen Schwanke, her brain is working overtime all the time.
I think the hardest part is turning it off when you get home sometimes.
She runs the school yearbook, the spelling bee, and is part of several leadership committees.
I see the stress when she gets home, knowing how much work actually has to be done.
The work does not go unnoticed.
She's absolutely fantastic. She's completely dedicated to the kids.
The students she's had and the work she puts in to make sure every student is getting where they need to be is incredible to watch.
This year presented a new challenge. More kids are coming in whose first language is not English, but Schwanke was ready.
We've had students come to us who only speak Spanish, and we've had a student come to us who only speaks Turkish. And Kristen has done a fantastic job helping our student who speaks Turkish by translating all the materials and educational pieces that she needs.
Schwanke says it's all part of making sure every student, regardless of background, feels safe.
Kids are coming from many different environments with different situations in each home and all over the place. And you've got to be more than a teacher. You've got to be someone that they can confide in.
It's a big job, but one that she believes in every day.
More than anything, it's the building relationships with students and getting to know them and all of their personalities.
If you know of a current teacher who goes above and beyond, you can nominate them for our next Top-Notch Teacher. Just head to the Features tab on our website, click Top-Notch Teacher, and fill out the nomination form. Well, still ahead on your morning news, some UAW workers have announced they are going on strike against Mack trucks. We'll have the details on their new strike. And if you want to relax and connect with that special someone in your life, a romantic getaway may be the perfect option. We'll take a look at how some hotels and resort destinations are making romantic travel even sweeter. That and more is coming up this morning, but for now we're sending you to break with something to put the good in your morning. Medicine may be a science, but sometimes the doctor has to get creative to treat their patients. A doctor in Virginia recently thought outside the box in order to help a patient. His prescription? 10 pounds of feline friendship taken as needed. When Dr. Earl King noticed that his patient Robin Sipes seemed down at an appointment, he asked her what was wrong. She told him that she had recently lost her cat. So Dr. King wrote her a prescription to get a new cat. And it worked. Robin has a close bond with her new furry friend, Erlene. She credits the kitten with lifting her spirits. Don't go anywhere. Your consumer news at News 8 Now this morning is after the break.
Well, frost advisories do continue this morning across portions of the Coulee region. This is mainly for our western communities, but this does include areas like La Crosse County as well as Eau Claire County this morning until 9 o'clock here. So that's because we're dealing with temperatures that are enough to cause some concerns for any of those outdoor plants that you may have outside. Try to cover them up or bring them inside here if you can. Current temperatures are into the 30s and 40s, 39 in La Crosse now, but 41 is the temperature to the north in the Eau Claire area this morning. So here's a check on your overall forecast. Partly cloudy, 58 degrees with some of those cool temperatures that will linger. West-northwest winds at 5 to 10. For tonight, we drop to about 38, mostly clear and a little bit chilly out there with light and variable winds here for us to work with. So we do have some clouds mainly towards the east of us that continue to slide their way down to the southeast, but the rest of us are looking at some clear conditions. A check on your mowing forecast today. 37 degrees, mostly clear skies to start, followed by partly cloudy skies for the rest of the afternoon hours today, with temperatures into the low to mid 50s later this afternoon. So we'll have a final check, or another check that is coming up on your full weather forecast in a few minutes. We'll talk about some upcoming rain chances that we could deal with starting later this week.
In your morning consumer news, the year of the strike marches on. UAW workers have gone on strike against Mack trucks. The move comes after the union declined a contract offer from Mack. Workers say the offer didn't provide enough of a wage raise to keep up with inflation. As a result, 3,900 workers across Pennsylvania, Maryland, and Florida have walked off the job. Labor organizers are confident that an agreement will be reached. Mack's boardroom has good reason to worry about the fiscal impact of a strike based on new numbers from Anderson Economic Group. AEG reports that the big three automakers lost more than $5.5 billion in the strike's first 3 weeks. That makes it the priciest auto strike in a century. Experts say the strike will hit even harder when it expands to more sites. With production of new cars stalled, inventory will drop and prices will rise. Car purchases and repairs aren't the only automotive costs that are expected to increase. Economists say that the war in Israel is raising crude oil prices. That will likely translate to higher prices at the pump here in the U.S. Concerns are also growing that prolonged conflict could discourage global investment throughout the Middle East. And analysts warn that if nearby states like Iran get involved, oil and gas prices could skyrocket. Sweetest Day is next Saturday, primarily celebrated in the Midwest after it started in Cleveland more than 100 years ago to cherish the one you love. More destinations and hotels are catering to couples wanting to get away to improve their relationships and intimacy, offering special packages, romantic touches, and private experiences. CBS News correspondent Wendy Gillette reports on the trend from Miami.
John and Jen Henthorne from Sarasota, Florida, recently toasted the sunset at Sandals South Coast in Jamaica. They've stayed at 5 different Sandals resorts since getting married 16 years ago at one of the brand's St. Lucia hotels.
We get to kick back, relax, and just enjoy each other without any of the noise of work and day-to-day life. It's like you're in a paradise.
Yeah. Sandals resorts are adults only. South Coast offers plenty of romantic nooks, fresh flowers, and champagne at check-in with a butler to pop it open. In these new swim-up suites and over-the-water bungalows, rare in the Caribbean. In a survey released earlier this year, Sandals' own romance research shows 2/3 of respondents say it's challenging to find time for romance as they get busier. More than 50% won't let inflation stop them from taking a romantic trip this year, and nearly 3/4 say intimacy is more satisfying on a getaway.
I don't have to say anything. I just give you a thumbs up on that one.
Another hotel offering over-the-top romantic packages is the W South Beach here in Miami, which include upgrades to suites like this one.
We stayed at the hotels for special rates. Romance packages at the Beachfront W, which just underwent a $30 million refurbishment, can include a private couples training session, cocktail making class, couples spa visit and steam shower, and love sound bath meditation.
The aim of our programming is so that couples can engage, laugh, talk, and have fun.
The Sandals survey finds millennials are most likely to indulge in a romantic trip this year.
The report from Sandals also finds the top obstacles to romance in a relationship are finding the right setting, financial constraints, work and social obligations, as well as children. Well, that's it for your morning consumer news. Let's check in with Derek and get today's forecast.
All right, thanks so much for that, Duo. We are looking at some frost advisories in effect this morning, which we'll get to here in a second, but it is a little cool out there this morning in La Crosse. 39 is your current temperature, clear skies, south-southeast winds at 3 miles an hour. If you're in Eau Claire, we're currently at 41, slightly on the cloudier side, westerly winds light at around 6 miles an hour. All right, so here's a check on some of those frost advisories, mainly for our western and central communities. This does include Eau Claire and La Crosse County until 9 o'clock today. So if you do have some of those outdoor sensitive vegetation or plants, try to bring them inside if you can, or at the very least, try to cover them up so they're not completely exposed to some of these cooler temperatures that we're dealing with here this morning. That could cause some damage to them, or at the worst, kill them as well. Look at the temperatures right now in the upper 30s to low 40s that we're currently dealing with. Here's a look at your planner. 53, partly cloudy to start, 57 degrees with partly cloudy conditions at around 4 o'clock, and then still partly cloudy by 8 o'clock this evening with temperatures at around 50 degrees. And our forecast high numbers, mainly the mid-50s to the north in Eau Claire, upper 40s up towards the Ladysmith area. But La Crosse today, you're looking at highs at around 58 degrees. Come this afternoon, now most of the moisture is mainly focused to our east, and it looks like the associated cloud cover with that moisture associated with that very large low pressure system still over Canada, still sending in some clouds here across the area. Will continue to be mainly focused to our north and east throughout the day today. So here's a check on what happens overnight tonight, and you can see the same story. Most of the clouds here remaining well to the north and east of us. I think we may see a few clouds that could sneak into portions of the area as we head into tomorrow morning. The moisture, though, will begin to increase yet again as we head into the rest of the day tomorrow, and then also as we take you into Thursday. And the reason being is because we are tracking our next low pressure system that is expected to develop over the central United States as we get towards the end of this work week. And that is going to help spawn numerous rain showers across the upper Midwest. And that is going to bump up our rain chances across the Coulee region. region pretty substantially, and you'll see that here on the 8-day forecast. We're going to be looking at some pretty good rain chances starting Thursday from that system, and that will continue especially into Thursday night and also into Friday. Some showers could even linger into the day on Saturday before we start to see some clearing of that on Sunday, but the cloudy skies and cooler temperatures will linger into the rest of the weekend on Sunday. And looking at ahead into next week, Monday and Tuesday, still some leftover clouds with highs into the 50s there. Our low temperatures will be mainly into the 40s. Stay with us. We're back with much more news and weather still to come on News 8 Now this morning. For now, we're sending you to break with a look what happened on this day in history for October 10th. We'll be right back.
The Blitz. It's playoff time. The Minnesota boys soccer sectionals kicking off last night. We got two area rivals going at it right out of the gate. Caledonia getting the 11th seed in Class 1A. Warriors making the short 20-minute trip to take on La Crescent Hoka. Lancers getting the 6th seed. Winner moves on to the second round Wednesday. Gang and Green getting shots off early. Mitch Raining makes it rain on this one. Perfect touch over the goalie into the back of the net. Lancers strike first. Raining will get another couple shots. Minute later, almost gets his second goal of the night off the post with this one. That one was close, but later in the half, this was pretty to watch. Nolan Schreier on the move. Look at this pass right on the money to Wyatt Farrell. The senior is going to punch it through. Lancers looking good in this one. They take a 2-goal lead. La Crescent gets the shutout at home in round one of the sectionals. 3-0 the final over Caledonia. Lancers will take on Rochester Lords on Wednesday. Go to the college level now. UWL hosting Milwaukee School of Engineering. It was the Raiders threatening early. Emma Halverson sending in the corner kick. Great pass, but the header goes right in front of the goal. We remain scoreless. Eagles with a lot of chances in this one. Claire Cater crosses it in. Ainsley Allen's first shot saved. One more chance, but it goes high. 0-0 at the half. Second half now, more the same. Sophie Pope crosses one toward the middle. Sarah Spells gets a good piece of it right into the hands of the keeper. This one's going to end in a 0-0 draw. Eagles are now 11-1-1 on the year. Well, what a weekend it was for the UWL football team. It had been 19 years since the last time the Eagles took down rival UW Whitewater, but on Saturday that streak was finally snapped. Eagles on the road looking for their first win over the Warhawks since 2004. In the fourth, Eagles go up 14. Whitewater storms all the way back to tie it, but in steps sophomore kicker Michael Stack from 51. He's got ice in his veins. Stack nails his career long. The 19-year-old kicker ends the 19-year drought. Eagles take down their rivals 37-34. Stack plays the hero. He says it's a moment he'll never forget.
First few moments were definitely surreal. Didn't really believe that it was happening. Everything went by so fast too. I was joking around with my dad after the game that that might be the best moment of my career, but I just gotta keep my head straight and just continue to get better every day at practice and next game mentality, pretty much.
An awesome moment for Stack, a memorable win for the Eagles. They move to number 6 in the country. They'll host at Platteville next Saturday. On the tennis court later this week, Aquinas senior Danica Silcox will look to become a state champ. The 4-time state qualifier will head to Madison as the 4 seed in Division II singles. Silcox finished the year with a 25-4 record. She's advanced to the second round of the tournament in each of her 3 previous experiences. Packers in primetime looking for their 3rd win of the season, taking on the Raiders. Green Bay up 3 until Jacoby Myers finds the end zone on this grab. Vegas goes up 7-3. They'd had a field goal to go up 7, but the green and gold get right back in it. A.J. Dillon's in for the score. We're tied at 10. Then in the 3rd, Jordan Love rolling out, looking deep, and he's got Christian Watson wide open. The second-year receiver is going to race his way down inside the 10. Packers only get 3.
You expect more, so thank you for watching News 8 Now.
President Biden is expected to address the fight in Israel in a speech this afternoon. More than 1,500 people have been killed since the surprise Hamas attacks on the Jewish state began Saturday. The White House confirms at least 11 U.S. citizens have died, with an unknown number of Americans still missing. CBS News' Naomi Ruckham has the latest on the fighting and the reaction from New York.
Overnight, landmarks lit up around the world, from the Eiffel Tower in Paris to London's Parliament Building to the White House in Washington, all glowing blue and white in solidarity with Israel. President Biden and the leaders of France, Germany, Italy, and the United Kingdom released a joint statement pledging support to the Jewish state and condemning Hamas. Israeli rocket blasts shook Gaza this morning after Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu declared war in retaliation for the deadly Hamas attacks that began over the weekend.
The forces of civilization must support Israel in defeating Hamas.
Hundreds of people on both sides have been killed. Hamas has threatened to execute hostages if Israel strikes Palestinian civilians. As fighting also intensifies near the country's shared border with Lebanon, Israel says one of its deputy military commanders was killed. Back in the U.S., pro-Israel and some pro-Palestinian protests broke out in several cities yesterday. The White House says military assistance is already on its way to Israel, though there are no plans to put U.S. boots on the ground.
Some state and local leaders say they are heightening security at Jewish synagogues and schools, though the FBI tells CBS News there's no specific or credible intelligence indicating a threat to the U.S. stemming from the attacks in Israel. A proven problem solver, that is what the newest entry into the 3rd Congressional District race says she can bring to Washington. Stevens Point Assemblywoman Katrina Shankland is the latest Democrat to seek next summer's primary nomination to go up against Republican incumbent Derek Van Orden. Shankland says since winning office in 2012, she's passed 170 bills signed by governors on both sides of the aisle that protect first responders, workforce development, and water quality. Shankland says Van Orden is not delivering for Wisconsin families and hasn't stood up to his own party in the face of federal government chaos.
And I see them playing politics not only with Ukraine, but also with other international crises at a time when we need real leadership, we need military appointments confirmed immediately, we need a speaker, and we need long-term funding of our government.
Shankland says the district needs someone with a proven track record of delivering for working families and seniors. Xcel Energy plans to build a new $500 million transmission line that will run through parts of Wisconsin. The company expects the line to start an existing substation near Blair in Trempealeau County and connect with another transmission linear in Clark or Rusk County. Xcel says the new line is needed to maintain grid reliability as the utility looks to bring in more wind power from Minnesota and the Dakotas. Now here's Derek to tell us what to expect for our morning commute.
All right, thanks for that, Duo. We are looking at those frost advisories in effect for portions of the Cooley region until 9 o'clock this morning. This does include Eau Claire and also into La Crosse County as well. So if you do have sensitive outdoor plants, make sure to try to bring them inside, or at the very least try to cover them up so they're not completely exposed to the temperatures that we're seeing that could result in some of that frost formation, with 39 being the temperature now in Eau Claire and 41 right now in Eau Claire, 39 in La Crosse, I should say, with 41 in Eau Claire. 58 partly cloudy skies and a cool day expected. West-northwest winds at 5 to 10 miles an hour as we head into tonight. 38 degrees, mostly clear skies, and still a little on the chilly side with light and variable winds here for us to work with today. Satellite and radar showing some clouds across portions of the Cooley region. Now you can see them sliding their way to the east and southeast here across the area right now. So for the mowing conditions, I am expecting 37 degrees to start, and then temperatures warming up into the 50s this afternoon under those partly cloudy weather conditions. I will have a check, or a final check that is, on your full weather forecast, and we'll time out some of these rain chances that we are expecting by the end of this week.
Well, before we head to break, it's time for today's Look Who's 8.
Levi is 8 months old today. Now he loves crawling, snaking, and his older sisters, Hazel and Gretchen.
Roger is 88. He enjoys the Brewers, Packers, Badgers, and tinkering in his garage.
Kay is also 88 today. She loves her independence, her family, and her chickens and cats.
Well, if you know a special someone turning 8 weeks, 8 months, 8 years, 18, 80, or 88, we'd love to feature them.
That's right. Just upload their photo to our website, news8000.com, and look for the Submit Pictures button underneath the Home tab on our website.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Nice start here from City Cam 8 in downtown La Crosse, showing as the sunrise comes up. A few clouds here into the distance. Current temperature readings are at 39 degrees. South-southeast winds are light at around 3 miles an hour. If you're in Eau Claire, we're currently sitting at 41. A few more clouds, though, mainly towards the north, and you'll see that on the satellite picture that I'm about to show in a few minutes. Westerly winds light at around 6 miles an hour. All right, so for the reason why we have these alert days in effect here this morning is because we do have frost advisories in effect until 9 o'clock, and that includes Eau Claire County as well as La Crosse County. But you can see this is mainly for our western communities this time. Yesterday, everyone was under these frost advisories, but for today, not so much. But if you're under the frost advisory, make sure to try to bring inside some of those sensitive vegetation and plants that you may have outside, or at the very least try to cover them up, because the temperatures that we're currently seeing here this morning is enough to cause some damage to some of the crops and plants out there. Or sometimes they could even kill some of the plants as well, depending on how much frost can develop. So just be aware of that. Temperatures are into the 30s and low 40s as you head out the door this morning there. And you can see by the time we reach noon, I'm expecting temperatures to be into the low 50s under partly cloudy skies. 57 and partly cloudy by 4 o'clock today. And we'll keep the partly cloudy skies in the forecast by early this evening. Temperatures sitting at around 50 there. All right, so for the high temperatures today, mid to upper 50s, 56 today in Eau Claire and a high of 58 expected this afternoon if you're in the La Crosse area here today. So most of the clouds and moisture mainly focused to the north and east of us. And it looks like as we forward into time by 11 o'clock, some of the clouds kind of lingering across the Chippewa Valley there. I'm expecting some of those clouds to continue to move their way down to the south and affect us as we head into this evening, and portions of overnight tonight as well, with some of those clouds there into the forecast as we head into early tomorrow morning. Some clouds could linger mainly towards the north and east of us there. We're going to start increasing the moisture though as we head into Wednesday night and also into Thursday. As you can see, a lot of clouds and rain showers begin to develop down to the south of us, and the reason being is because we are tracking our next system. It's a big low pressure system, as a matter of fact, that is expected to develop across the central U.S. We're seeing a lot of consistency now with the computer forecast models showing this system blossoming and developing across the central U.S. by the end of the week. That could spread some rain showers across the area by Thursday, and we're going to keep those rain chances not just for Thursday but also into Friday and on Saturday before they begin to dissipate here as we head into Sunday. High temperatures in the 50s and lows mainly in the 40s.
Well, this morning we have organizer and storyteller Terry Visker with us in studio to talk about the upcoming Tales of the Creepy and Scary this Friday the 13th. How are you doing this morning, Terry?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
So can you tell us a little bit about what the Tales of the Creepy and Scary performance is?
Well, this is probably the fourth one that we've had at the Pump House in October. It's a tradition at our festival that we have also at the Pump House that we've been doing for 20 years. But now it's, this is the time of year to do it, and Friday the 13th is the best time to be coming and telling creepy stories. So there'll be a group of us that it's kind of, we call it a concert. So just like we have different music at a concert, we have different stories at a storytelling concert, and these will be on the creepy side.
Sounds exciting. Can you tell us what kind of stories will be told that night?
Well, it's a variety of stories. Some of them are traditional. One of our tellers will be telling The Raven by Poe, and again, we are tellers. We don't read, so he's not reading it. He's doing this from memory. But other tellers have made up their own creepy stories. Mine was from a short story that was written in the 1800s. Others are traditional ones that maybe you have heard. So it's a big variety of stories.
So can you tell me, why you got involved with this?
With storytelling?
With storytelling, and then also tales of the creepy and scary.
I got into storytelling. It's a long story, but I was a teacher, and storytelling is magical. That's just how our brains evolved, and it's a magical kind of a thing. But scary stories are probably my favorite, and I don't like slasher kind of things. And when you tell them, you don't have that kind.
Yeah.
But I do like a good creepy story around a campfire or on the Pump House stage.
So how many different speakers are going to be there?
There will be 9 storytellers this time, and then our MC is Diane Breezer, and she always adds a little bit of fun to the evening also. But 9 different tellers. local and regional. Most of them are from our Bluff Country Tail Spinners, which is a local guild that has been around since 1999. Michael Scott, he's part of our guild, but he's also kind of famous for his ghost stories around La Crosse. And then a teller from Stoughton, Minnesota, or Stoughton, Wisconsin, I'm sorry, Kay Whedon, she will be there. So, you know, it's a good variety of people.
Now, is this open to all ages?
You know, it could be, but they're more for teens and adults. You know, we used to do the little kids kind of stories, but none of them are that. And none of them are dreadfully scary. As I said, they're more on the creepy side rather than on the scary side.
Where can people find tickets for this event?
Everything is at the Pump House, so you can either go on their website or call them, and tickets are available right now.
Now, how does it feel about this event falling on Friday the 13th
That was just
this year?
perfect. It was perfect. When we were looking for a date, this one was not open at the Pump House, and then whoever had it canceled, and so Allison called and said, we can do Friday the 13th. So yeah, it's a great day. We've never been able to do it on Friday the 13th before.
Almost seems like it was cosmic timing.
It was perfect. It was just great, yeah.
So can you tell us like what story you might be doing? Can you give us a sneak peek maybe?
Well, mine is, like I said, a short story from the 1880s or 90s. And actually, when I first heard it, I thought, I kind of know this story. And I'm kind of old. I had seen it on Twilight Zone.
I remember Twilight Zone. I've seen a couple episodes.
Yes, yeah, you can get them. And so I looked it up, you know, on the internet, of course, and watched the whole thing and remembered it well. So it's just a gentle, nice kind of story about a man. A man was standing on a plank that had been placed on the Owl Creek Bridge. When he looked down, he could see the water flowing right beneath him as his executioner tied his hands and put the noose around his neck. And then I'll stop.
Oh man, that already sounds scary enough.
Leaving us on a cliffhanger.
Of course,
well,
of
people
course.
will have to go to the Pump House to hear the rest of it.
Exactly.
They do. At the Pump House this Friday. Doors open at 6:30, and the show starts right at 7.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming and talking
having
about
me. I appreciate this. Yeah.
All right. We'll be right back. In your morning news now, the Monroe County detective accused in the death of a police dog has appeared in court. 29-year-old Alex Moss pleaded not guilty to 1 count of mistreatment of an animal. Moss was a canine handler with the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. According to the criminal complaint, Moss left Canine Colt in a parked squad vehicle for nearly 4 hours in hot and sunny conditions. The car was not running and the windows were up. As a result, Colt died a few days later. Moss resigned shortly after being placed on administrative leave for the incident. Moss was given a $1,000 signature bond. He's scheduled to be back in court on November 28th. Community and support. It's what Gunderson Health System says those who have lost a child need. This month is Pregnancy, Infant, and Child Loss Awareness Month. The bereavement coordinator at Gunderson says that specific kind of grief isn't openly talked about. She says with the holiday season approaching, it can be a more difficult time for families experiencing that grief. If you know a family going through a loss, she says reaching out can be very helpful.
Just listen to them, be there for them, support them, ask what you can do before stepping in and doing things.
She says one of the most valuable things friends and family can do is say the child's name and include their memory in special moments. Gunderson and Mayo are hosting a free walk to remember on Saturday, October 14th from 4 to 6 at Riverside Park. We'll have a link with more information about the event on our digital platforms. Part of Losey Boulevard is closed this week. The city of La Crosse is making waterline repairs on Losey Boulevard from Victory Street to Mormon Cooley Road. Both lanes going south are closed. One lane going north is closed. If you need to travel on that part of Losey, make sure to add extra time to your commute. The construction is expected to finish by October 13th. Xcel Energy plans to build a new $500 million transmission line that will run through parts of Wisconsin. The company expects the line to start at an existing substation near Blair in Trumpelow County and connect with another transmission linear in Clark or Russ County. Xcel says the new line is needed to maintain grid reliability as the utility looks to bring in more wind power from Minnesota and the Dakotas. Well, it's that time of year again. As we move into the colder months, respiratory viruses will start to spread quicker. To help slow the spread of diseases like the flu, RSV, and COVID, Gunderson Health System has opened its vaccine clinics in La Crosse and Onalaska. The La Crosse and Onalaska clinics will offer flu and pneumonia vaccines, as well as the new RSV vaccine for those over 60. The supervisor for the clinic says once the hospital receives shipments of the new COVID-19 vaccine, it will also then be offered. She also explains why it's important to get vaccinated.
Vaccines will protect you from chronic illnesses that are out there.
Dayton adds that people with chronic medical issues, the elderly, young children, and pregnant women are the most vulnerable to respiratory viruses. The vaccine clinics are open weekdays from 8:30 in the morning till 4:30 in the afternoon. The clinics will stay open till 6 in the evening on Mondays and Wednesdays. The extended hours last until November 29th. To make an appointment, you can either call the clinic or go to their website. We'll post more information on our website, news8000.com. The Salvation Army of La Crosse County will be hosting their 3rd annual fall celebration at Burns Park tonight. The event will be held from 4 this afternoon till 7 this evening at La Crosse's Burns Park. The event will feature a pumpkin carving, free books, the Sweetgrass Band, and Brutus the Mini Pig will also be making a surprise visit. The Salvation Army is also asking for donations for hygiene items or warming gear.
As you head out the door this morning, keep in mind that we still have these frost advisories in effect for portions of the area highlighted until 9 o'clock this morning. And that's because our temperatures will fall to the 30s here. That could cause some damage to some of the plants out there. Try to protect them by covering them up or bring them inside if you can from some of that frost that could form. Check on your overall planner throughout the rest of the day. Temperatures warming up into the 50s this afternoon under partly cloudy skies. So a little on the cool side once again. For the day tomorrow, 59 and mostly sunny. Looking at good chances of rain though, Thursday through Saturday, I should say.
First, we started the show with good afternoon. Now we're talking about Thursday through Sunday.
Yeah. Well,
Man.
yeah. Get ready for some rain there. Unfortunately, that could spoil maybe some Friday night plans that we may have. But yeah, we need the rain though within that rain deficit that we're in.
I was going to say, you know, you keep talking about that frost, but it feels like the frost has already arrived
Feels
in
like
the
it's in
studio.
Yeah, it's so cold in here, you guys. We can't even explain. Engineers, turn up the heat.
We need to start like a little bonfire on this little table right
Right,
here.
exactly. We could dress like Eskimos in here, maybe.
Wear our winter jackets.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone would be like, it's not even winter yet, but man, does it feel like winter in here. I don't even want to think about what the studio will feel like once it actually goes into winter.
Well, usually we're pretty good about turning up the heat by that point, but we'll see.
Well, thank you for watching News 8 Now. Don't forget to keep up with news of the day on news8000.com, and we'll have the latest updates to today's top stories on News 8 Now at noon. Have a wonderful Tuesday.